Back to my YouTube. Looks like I disconnected. Fantastic. Do do do. Okay, let me get rid of this one then. Cause 41 minutes of nothingness. All right. Get all reset up here. That kill my Twitch? Let me look for the Twitch thingy-majiggy. I guess I don't have it up. Hi Tom, I had to start the chat, a new chat again. I disconnected. It better not be one of those days again. Episode 140 of Fritz's Hobby Chat, or Paint Along, or Paint and Chat, whatever I call it these days. Hopefully it won't drift off again. Oh, my OBS says I've been streaming for 47 minutes. But it started a new YouTube, so here we are again. I'll have to pay attention to this. I'm going to be blabbing all by myself here. Oh man, I just lost my chutzpah to paint today. What's going on? You know what it means when that happens. Start painting. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And we'll see what happens, and we'll see where this takes us. Want to talk about something in particular? Let me know. Throw the topic in there and we will discuss. We will discuss. Let me try and get comfortable here in this giant stool. All right, let's get to these guys. Mm-hmm. Da, 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 da. La, da, da, da. Da, da, da. This guy's Pack 40 crewman. Excellent. I'm a big fan of naval warfare. Again, that's something I don't do a lot of these days. I love naval games. Is anyone else a big fan of naval? Historical naval? Or if so, got any periods in mind? Watching you paint makes me want to paint. It would help if you could actually see where I'm painting. I don't even have this in focus. That's what it's all about, Time. A little inspiration. That's why I'm here. Is this the right camera? No, wrong camera. Where's my camera? Get this out of the way. I guess I could zoom in a little bit. Not that it matters, you guys can't see what I'm doing anyway. Well, at least I could do is keep it in focus. Somewhat. That's good enough. That's good. That's why I do these chats. I'm on here like every other day, if not every day. 2 or 3 hours of painting. Just chit-chatting. Sometime I got folks in here with me, my co-hosts and such. Getting things done. Guaranteed. If I'm on, we're going to do some painting. So come on, get out that brush. Tickle those little minis. They're beckoning to you. Paint me. Paint me. Great battles are to be fought. I need a good sound painting. Has this guy got a smock on? I think he does. Alright, leave his jacket alone. I'm going to paint that as a camo. Alright, that guy. Who else? That's it? Okay. Of course, when you're taking a break from painting, which is always a good idea, it's a good time to paint something else. Something a little less demanding, a little perhaps enjoyable, a little more enjoyable. Something different. Painting's supposed to be enjoyable, you know? It's not supposed to be a chore. It's supposed to be something you really look forward to and have a good time doing. Like I've said many times, it's probably about 90% of our hobby these days. So you better enjoy painting. taking a break is a good thing to do, and maybe paint something different. I think this guy's got a smock on as well. Alright, hold on here. Darn it. Alright, I think he does. I'm going to have to repaint that. That's alright. These two guys here. Oh. How you doing, Nerds Nerd? Nerds Nerd has arrived. Just showed off your latest painting. The exosuit of doom and gloom. Coffee. Because that's what it's all about. Painting and getting things done. I'm off to a bad start here. But we got this. We got this. So you gonna do some painting time? 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 Are you gonna do some painting? There, that's properly saying it. How about you, Nerds Nerd? Any more projects to work on tonight? Maybe another exo suit is in order? Can never have more than... You can never have enough. $1,000 Zulu shields. Better get cracking. Better get cracking. I don't know, Time. That's not the most exciting thing to paint. Now I see why you're taking a break. If that's all you're painting. Of course, maybe you enjoy painting shields. Little Zulu shit. They can't be that hard. What scale are we talking here? 15, 28, 54 mil? 6 mil. What are we talking here? I'm going to say it's 28 mil. I think he's doing 28 mil. If I can catch up on... If I can catch up on work, all right? I got my Colonial Marine Squad up next on the painting block. Okay? Finally, the grunts. The grunts. You're a little bit top heavy there with the exosuits and the mocks or whatever they're called. What's going on here? What about the grunts? Gotta have the fodder. The guys that die. 15 AB. Oh, you're doing 15 millimeter. AB miniature. Oh, that's 18 millimeter, really. The Cadillac of 15 mil. AB miniatures. I thought I would enjoy painting AB miniatures, but I didn't. They're beautiful models. I thought they'd be a joy, but no, they weren't. Not to me. It's odd. I thought I would really get a kick out of painting this, such detailed models, but the fact that they're so much smaller was annoying. They're literally a 28 mil shrunk detail wise, and it's just, I don't know, it was harder for me. I didn't enjoy it. Bottom portion of the shield. Oh yeah? Well, it can't always be perfect. Can you fix it? I paint the cool stuff first, so it's easier to paint the basic grunts when it's the only thing left needed for a fully painted army. Okay, that's one way to do it. That's one way to do it. I'm the exact opposite. I work the grunts first, because you gotta have them. Not that it makes it any easier. Maybe I should try it the other way around. That's not exactly true, because I'm doing my Flames of War project and I'm painting the tanks first. You could kind of say they're like the cooler things to paint. And now I'm painting the grunts. I will say though, those tanks are a heck of a lot easier to paint. Less tedious. So yeah, I guess I am painting that way too. Goes to show you. Aliens versus Predator. Is this guy German? Yeah, he is. Probably asked you this before. Feel free to make fun of me. But what sells you on that game? What do you like most about it? What is it about that game that gets you? Is it the aesthetic? The fact that it's alien? Or has it got some really freaking cool game mechanics that sell the game to you? It's like, wow, no brainer. Gotta play this. It's a must. Because I've never played the game. Never even really looked at it until you mentioned it. I've known about it, but I never really looked at it. I know it's a miniatures board game, which I actually enjoy. Miniatures board games, that is. I'd like to play the Free League role-playing game too. Now they're doing a new edition to the frickin' thing, so yeah. Alien versus Predator, though, that's a whole different thing. Because you got the Predator. Is this guy? Oh, come on. Has he got a smock on, too? I think they all do. Even this guy, but I'm ignoring that one. Alright, they all got frickin' smocks on, man. I painted that wrong too. Ay, ay, ay. All right. Oops. Boy, am I messing up. do this one leg here. Alright, let me do the other leg. Okay. That looks good. Hold on. Gotta do the collar. Okay. Alright. Cast portion of the shield. I paint the cool stuff. Two things. One, I absolutely love the atmosphere aesthetic of the universe. Two, the rule set hits a great balance between board gaming and skirmish game. It has a double blind system, so you need line of sight to identify what your opponent's piece is. For an example, makes for some great tactical play and mind games. Alien versus Predator. Have you ever played Space Hulk? And there's more. And to mix up the very more gamey gameplay, you have a deck of cards with extra stuff to play that gives both a random element and very tactical choices, which is your forte. That's what you like, right? Nice. Deck of cards. Interesting. I don't know what to say about that, because I've heard of Space Hulk, but never played it. Alien vs. Predator is often compared to it, so it must be somewhat similar. I did March Air. Wish I could find a copy of Space Hulk. Because it sounds very much like a type of game that would be like Space Hulk. And I'll tell you, the first time I ever played Space Hulk was one of those games that was an introduction to Games Workshop for me. And it just blew my mind how good this game was, mechanically and aesthetically. It introduced me to this setting, and the artwork and everything just blew my mind. And that's something I've never experienced since. And what a fantastic game. So I kind of feel what you're describing to me here is kind of similar. Very similar experience. And that's one reason why you're so keen on playing it, because that mind games you mentioned when you're playing them with your opponent is a very real thing in Space Hulk, and there's nothing like it. It's amazing. But I know what you mean, and I can see the attraction. I'm fortunate to have the first edition of Space Hulk in my collection. The only thing I don't have is the little Terminators and most of the Gene Stealers that it came with. I painted them and sold them. But that's okay, because I can always 3D print. Or use my 40K models or whatever. But I've got all the cards, all the supplements, everything, and I think it was last week, and I just reorganized it in a brand new binder. So I got all the rules in one spot, all the play sheets, everything. And then in the box I have all the tiles, the cards, and everything else that goes with it. I'm going to play that again. First edition. Because that thing captured my attention and my soul, basically, a long time ago. And just flipping through the rule book, it's like, my God, it's so... 40K currently is nothing like this. It's like a slap in the face. Hey, remember me? It's nothing like that anymore. And it feels good to go back to it and experience it again. Whew. That's what it's all about. And even if you can get a hold of the second edition, I think they had a third, any of the editions, because the game hasn't changed. They managed to keep the game pretty much the way it was. The only thing that really changed was the components. Get yourself a copy and add it to the collection. It's definitely not a regret. It's a must-have on every wargamer's shelf, I think. In my opinion. Tell that to all the Epic 40K and Space Marine players. The Epic players. I've seen a lot of games that try and mimic. Really is what they're doing. They're trying to mimic what was Space Hulk. I mean, Space Hulk was like really one of the first miniatures board game hybrids. It was under their 3D roleplay logo, if you remember that, in the very beginning. Of course, so was 40K. 3D roleplay. And I've seen since then, a lot of companies try and capture what Space Hulk and Advanced Hero Quest, what those games were like. And to some extent, Hero Quest and Space Crusade. But I haven't seen any that managed to be as inspiring and awe-inspiring and as Space Hulk was for me. But I don't know, maybe that's just me. But and I've seen a lot of games that try to, but they just don't do it, man. There's something missing. I don't know what it is. The aesthetic, maybe? I don't know. Nerd's Nerd hasn't played Space Hulk, but she plays this game here, which is like that. So I can't really ask her, what do you think is the difference? Never played Space Hulk. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Space Hulk 4th edition. Is there a 4th edition? Did they go all the way up to 4? I had the 1st and the 2nd. I sold the 2nd. I think I kept the Marines, actually. The Space Terminators. I think I did. But I didn't have any others. So I googled Space Hulk, and wow, does it look incredibly similar to AVP. It was definitely a massive inspiration for AVP. Really? Well, there you go. I'm going to have to look up AVP. It's something I know very little about. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to get it, everybody should have it. It's a classic game from the early days of when GW was getting more and more, first getting into wargaming with miniatures, really. Well, that wouldn't be true. With boxed games. It was so freaking good. I mean, especially if you're a fan of 40K. The grimdark universe, especially when it was first conceptualized in the beginning. Just, wow. Such a good game. It has little blips that move around that the other player, or you can play solo. The little blips represent so many gene stealers. There'll be a number on the reverse side of it, like from 0 to 6 or something. And the gene stealer player every turn draws so many of these every turn. And he places them, knowing what they are, how many they represent, at various entry points that are designated on the map board. So he places them where he wants to be sneaky and so on. And he moves these around. I think they have 6 activation points per turn, each one. And the Space Marines, which are models of figures, have to move around, open doors, lay down fire to block gene stealer movement. They have to try and spot these blips, because until they're spotted, you don't know what they represent. It's kind of cool because it's like an Alien when you see the blips moving on the little radar. You see these blips moving around. You don't know what they are. They could be nothing, or it could be these creepy creatures crawling around in the walls and ceilings about to descend. Optionally, the Gene Stealer player can reveal a blip automatically and replace it with miniatures, which is the same as what happens when they are revealed by the Terminators. In other words, spotted. And yeah, it's a pretty freaky game. Terminators fetch lots of moolah on eBay. But it's a really simple game where when it's your turn, you activate a model and he has so many action points to do things, like opening a door is an action point, moving is an action point. I think every square you move is an action point, actually. And imagine if you started the turn with 4 or 6 action points for your side, for your model. You'd be able to do all these different things. Firing is an action point. Overwatch is an action point. The assault cannon, when it fires, it rolls a bunch of D6s, and it needs, I think, 4s or greater or something, 5s to hit, that kind of thing. And it's just a very simple, fast-flowing game with, as you say, mind games. And, yeah. And that's from what I remember, that's pretty accurate because I haven't played in a long time, haven't watched maybe one battle report in the past decade. So the fact that it's still in my head how this plays, that's pretty cool. That means something. The blip system is 100% copied. There you go. Yep, I agree. There you go. That's the mind games, right? D20 Space Hulk and a different IP. Well, there you go. There you go. How do you like that? Well, that's pretty cool. I guess I didn't know anything about it, but I actually know everything about AVP. How do you like that? Boom! I'd have to take a look at it. Maybe it's worth getting into. Do you do a lot of 3D printing for that? I imagine you could. Why does my screen look all blurry? What's going on there? Thing about the Terminators and Space Hulk is that they don't have, I think they have like 4 APs for Terminator. One of the reasons is because they're very, I don't want to say clumsy, but they're, you know, they're in very cramped quarters and they're not very agile. They're in Terminator armor. I mean, that's the way Terminators are. They're supposed to be that way. Not these heroic comic book hero type crazy posed models that you see nowadays. That's not how they work. So they have fewer APs to spend to do stuff. So you got to really think. And you usually only have a squad of like 5 of them tops. You got to be careful. The Gene Stealers, they're mobile, they're fast, they die in troves. But I think they have 6 AP per blip or per model, whatever's on the table. So they can get away with doing a lot more. Sneaky little buggers. What was I doing here? Alright, let's put that back out. Why does that look so blurry? Well, there we go. It's one of my favorite games of all time. That was actually pretty cool. I like that. Huh. Cool. That's better. Leave that alone. I might do the same thing for Space Hulk as I did AVP. Buy a used box without the minis, then just paint the minis. I've got 5 Terminators from what edition of 40K, I don't remember, but I got 5 of them. My Dark Angels, which I can use. They're on the bigger bases, but they actually fit on the old tiles. I'd actually like to 3D print the actual tiles. Make it look like an actual Space Hulk. I wouldn't be the only one to do that. But the Gene Stealers, I only got 2 models out of literally hundreds I used to have, so 2 original Gene Stealer pure strains. But I found a lot of sources that I could 3D print them, so it's not going to be an issue. There's hybrids, pure strains. Hybrids are more humanoid types. They can be psychers and stuff. What else is there? Is there just the 2? Yeah, so I'm going to be doing 3D printing. And I'm looking forward to that. Oh, I still got coffee. Would you guys like to see the Space Hulk books? I can bring them out if you want. I say this because I just put them in their new binder. I think it was last Wednesday. Oh. Let's throw in a battery here. Oh. Yikes, used boxes are still going for $100, $150 even without minis. Really? It's not surprising, really. That's a shame. I wonder if you can... get PDF versions and print them out. Might be able to find them. Do a little search. I can actually look it up just to see. Let's see. Space Hulk. We'll just say Space Hulk. Free PDF. Let's see if I recognize any of these. They have the 4th edition rulebook and scribd. Let's see. Space Hulk 1st edition unofficial Bible. PDF download. What is that? Oh, cool. Let me see. Download options. What am I looking at here? Huh. Well, you can go through the rule book online. This was not what I was looking for. But I guess the 1st edition unofficial Bible is a compilation of all the rules and supplements, and there was 2 supplements that I know, plus White Dwarf, all put into one with any errata or FAQ that was implemented at the time. So it's actually a really useful thing here, the Space Hulk 1st edition unofficial Bible. If you want that link, I'm going to put it in there so you guys can grab it if you're so interested. Nothing to download, although there is an option to do so. Let me copy that link, and you guys that are too lazy to search, I know who you are. If you're interested, check this out. Let's see, Control V. Somebody sees smoke. How big is 3rd printing in the wargaming world? Is it becoming the standard or is it fringe? How big is 3rd printing? I'm not sure I know what you mean. Where are you from, Time? Let me gauge where you're coming from. Where are you from? Where are you hailing from? Anyway, that's the Bible. You could check that out there. The 1st edition Space Hulk Bible. Oh, here it is. You can get the Space Hulk 4th edition rulebook as a download for free. If somebody wants that, this is the 4th edition. Wait a minute, is this Space Hulk? Space Hulk 4th edition? Yeah. So if you're interested in that as a free PDF, on PDF Coffee. If you know that site, you know what I'm talking about. I'm going to put it in here and you can grab it. Is that it? That's the 4th edition. I might actually grab that because I don't have the 4th edition. I'd love to see what they did. Really common in my circles. Hold on here. How big is third printing in the wargaming world? Is it becoming the standard? Or is it fringe? It's really common in my circles. Chicago, third printing is usually plastics. Oh, you're in Chicago. Third printing is usually plastics. Oh, 3D printing. Duh. 3D printing. Wow. I'm trying to figure out what is he talking about. Third printing. Are you from another country? Sorry, man. I had no clue. I was lost. Just ignore me. I'm just the ambience to your day. Big Small Worlds makes his appearance once again. I'm going to say old style. Kit bash and scratch build everything. And avoid 3D printing. So there. 3D. We got some of the lurkers crying out. 3D. I knew that would get everybody screaming. There you go. There you go. It was all intentional. It's all intentional, Bob. Third edition. I'm the opposite. Design my own minis exactly how I want them digitally. Then print them. So there you go. What do you think about that, Big Small? I think if Big Small had access to a 3D printer and could experience the joy of this little piece of technology and how beneficial it is to the hobby, it's a game changer, man. I think you'd be doing the 3D thing too. You know you would. You know you would. Granted, as somebody who's experienced 3D printing and who's also an old school do-it-yourself DIY person, I'm not completely sold on 3D printing because I enjoy the tactile side of crafting my own stuff too. Outside of minis, but the terrain, I like to build stuff. I like that side of it at least. But 3D printing, it does add an aspect of like, oh, I could never make this, or it would take too long, or it's inconvenient. Or if I want models that I can't sculpt, then yeah, 3D printing comes in big time. It's a game changer, man. You'll save a lot of money. There's people out there 3D sculpting things that are on par with the quality of old school GW miniatures. And in some cases better. I mean, again, no brainer. No printing for me either. Yeah, it's that first step is what it is, I bet. You guys never 3D printed. It's probably a little bit daunting at first, or financially too much maybe. But once you do it, you see like, wow, this really is a freaking game changer. It's not that hard to do. It's not that big of an investment. But I get it. It's also the only way I can afford to have the armies I do. Minis are just too darned pricey. Even Battletech plastic force packs, like $9 per mech. That is expensive. I also love the scaling options. I can make sure every mini I have is perfectly to scale. Yeah, you can have a mini scale you want. You obviously don't know how stubbornly set in my ways I am. Period. I really enjoy the kit bashing, and I have a massive collection of bit boxes. It's true. I get it. But all that sounds like just excuses to me. Until you actually have a printer in your house and have used it at least once, then I'll believe you when you say this to me. And once you experience it, I'm serious. But I get it. Bob says 3D printing has made my life much nicer. All right, well, there you go. There you go. Bob's laying down the law. Besides, I have nowhere to put such equipment. See, you're making excuses. That's all you're doing. Something to look into, though. Even if it was just a filament printer. What's your... I don't know. Would you say they're easier to work with compared to resin? Get yourself a cheaper filament printer so you can do terrain. Maybe some odd models here and there. That would be a good way to start. See how useful it is. It's no big investment. Doesn't require a lot of space. It's not toxic. It's just filament. Looks like weed whacker string that you put up on your printer. It's not messy. But anyway. Well, there's James. I see you, James. Where you been, James? L. Ka-ching. Speaking of 3D printing. There you go. Appreciate that, James. We're just talking about Space Hulk and how amazing it is, which somehow led to 3D printing discussion. And now here we are. There's definitely two mindsets when it comes to 3D printing. James L, everybody, James L. Let me make that a little smaller. I've been painting Stargrave minis. Yep, I remember you bought them. Talking all about the different sets. Working on my health. How is everybody? Doing fantastic. Got Jesse pretty much moved in here next door. Jake has been coming up regular every Wednesday and every weekend. He starts school on Thursday. We've been playing 40K. We've been playing Flames of War. We've been rolling up characters for different games. Haven't actually sat and played any RPG yet, but he's getting there. And we played some Warzone from Mantic, as you remember. And yeah, he really enjoys Flames of War, if you can believe it. I had an absolutely awesome game with me, Jesse, and Jake. And I was just mopping the floor with them the whole game. And somehow, that sneaky Jacob managed to pull out a draw from what was otherwise a great, astounding victory for me and my Germans. He pulled out a draw. That was a really enjoyable game. It was just awesome. He really likes it because of the tanks. Don't you get striations with the filament printer? Well, if you can get that filament down to really small, it's not so bad. But yeah, it's one of the things. They all got striations. However, Nerds says the newest generation of filament printers are actually really good. There's still layer lines, but much less noticeable than even a couple years ago. I remember I did a commission. I'm guessing how many vehicles. It was maybe 50 or 60 vehicles, modern, and there were 12 mil. And these were filament printed, 3D printed models that either he did, the client, or one of his friends, but he sent them to me, and they were just atrocious. They were terrible to work with. I felt like I was sculpting some of these models. They were so bad because I had to clean them up. There was a lot going on with them. Tires were breaking off. But, yeah, that I did that, though, and it turned out really, really nice. But, that was back in the day, I think. Was that 4 years ago? 4 years ago? That's good. I have been acquiring Dark Age and Black Powder kits for my historicals, but in the mood to paint sci-fi. There you go. Do whatever you're in the mood for. I'm doing the Flames of War. That's what I'm in the mood for currently. When I get these infantry done, I'm probably going to move on to something else, give that a break and do something else. I heard you mention Romano British the other day. I am loving those Victrix kits. Yeah. I think I was asking if Victrix made Dark Age stuff, Arthurian era. I guess they do. I haven't looked. I know Gripping Beast does. And when I do my 28 mil Triumph project, I'm going to be painting those armies. I'm pretty keen on that in that scale, and I'm thinking Victrix for sure if they do make them and sell them, and I think they do, and I guess you're verifying that. That would be awesome. That's how my printing would come out. it's time to update the printer. I had pretty good results on my test pieces with the filament printer. I printed out a whole slew of terrain too, and it's really good. You got to get that little filament nozzle, whatever it is. You got to get it so it's really in your settings. You can set how big those freaking lines are when they come out. I guess it takes longer, but you can make them really fine. Trying to spend less time online and more time painting. Sounds like a good plan. As long as you keep in touch, right? But I get it. I take my moments off too. Definitely a sci-fi kind of day. I'm hoping to get some AVP Marines done myself. Not today, though, for some reason. Keep putting it off. Painting the fancy stuff first. Late Romans and Goths. But my Saxons and Dark Age Irish are ordered from WGA. That's right, War Games Atlantic. Such great companies, man. Time. I was going to stream over the weekend and bring Jake in here and paint with me. But he was fishing and playing video games, so I got to leave him alone. Jesse took all the video games, so he only gets to play video games when he comes up here. Got rid of the airbrush. Straight to the bin. As you probably know, I'm painting Germans. Listening to, you guessed it, Risa Taniguchi. Let's see. watch my chat here so it doesn't log off again. Shut me off. This guy's got a smock on too, but I'm going to ignore it. It's like all four of these guys got smockers. Okay, I think I got that all done. That was tricky. All right. Emailed you a pic. Back to my hibernation. Take care, all. All right, Chems. Please do stay in touch. Good to hear from you again. I'll check my email. Stargrave. Stargrave. Progress. Looks fantastic. Those are the War Games Atlantic, right? They look like it. And the Stargrave guys. Oh, these are nice poses. They're pretty nice. I like them. a blue guy. Very nice. Let me see. What are they? Fire. Do 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 do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 18, 18, 19. It's good progress. Battles await in the Stargrave universe. D20 madness. If I recall, it's a D20 system. Necromunda in space. That's what it feels like. Same kind of game as Necromunda, except it's not grimdark, but it's sci-fi, and it could be all kinds of things. Pirates, crews of ships, not necessarily these gangs that live in the sump. But yeah, it plays like that, campaign-wise. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Stargrave. Shout out to Byron for sending that along to me. Added to the collection. Willkommen, mein Freund. I did the scavengers as rat zombies. The scavengers box. I gotta go back and look. Wargames Atlantic makes some nice freaking models for any sci-fi genre, particularly Stargrave games. They got some great stuff. I've always favored them more than the official Stargrave stuff from North Star. To me, the North Star models look okay, but they weren't posed very excitedly. Kind of boring. I always favored the Wargames Atlantic ones for some odd reason. Space weirdos. That's another option. Oh, James, before you disappear for another couple months, somebody in the chat, it was either Dennet Helmet or let me look real quick. Not March, not Time, not Nerds. Not Irate Spartan. Where are you? Who was that? Not Big Small. Where did you go? Not Bob. I can't find him. Somebody turned me on. You probably even saw this. Turnip 28. This genre of art known as, I forget the term, something I've never heard of before, but imagine John Blanche artwork as a game. Turnip 28, which is a Napoleonic type fantasy, mud themed turnips everywhere type of thing. And the other game, this is a whole thing. There's more than one game doing this. There's another one that just came out in Blaster magazine. But it's the aesthetic, the art that has got me totally engrossed. Making a game like that based around, say, John Blanche artwork? My God. And that's basically what Turnip 28 is. Granted, it's a Napoleonic era grimdark, which is a bit odd, but I see what's going on there. But man, that is so cool, and I'm really turned on to this. And I've been learning all about these different games and settings and this form of art in games. Nightmarish. It's just, wow, that is so up my freaking alley. But somebody turned me on to it. Dented helmet. It was him. Yeah, I've been watching videos, doing some searches, looking up stuff. I'm fascinated by it. I don't know how something like this slipped through the cracks for me. I'll probably play Space Weirdos. Those are mostly North Star, but the green uniforms are War Games Atlantic. That's this front row. Green uniforms. That's these guys. They look like War Games Atlantic. They match up well. That's good to know. I like these hooded characters. Yeah. Yeah, if you haven't really looked up Turnip 28 or something, check it out. It's just crazy stuff. I mean, I'm just so into that. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. I am an odd one. So shout out the dented helmet there. Sludge, that's what it is. I'm more of a sludge guy. What's the difference? What's the difference? The genericism of it all, perhaps? Because it sounds like the same kind of thing, just different fluff and game rules. I didn't look too much into sludge, though. That got the author, that I think his name is Steve Bantock. Bantock something. The author of Void Admiral. He just come out with a game for this very same genre. This fantasy Napoleonic mud sludge type thing. So he's doing something now. So it's a thing. Rules or miniatures agnostic. Good use of your spare parts and green stuff too. There's a fun imaginations aspect to that 28 style. Yeah. Byron, how you doing, Byron? Once again, good to see Byron back in the fold once more. I saw Rosemary's Instagram pic there of her at the cemetery. That was fun. I think it was funny because it was a video, but I think she thought it was a picture. Somebody was waiting to take a picture, and it wasn't. It was a video. And whoever was holding the camera said, "Hello." After a while, and Rosemary started laughing. I don't know if you saw that, but that was funny. With her grandparents or something. I don't know who that was, but yeah. Listening in from the job site. Land of the Jacobites. The Jacobites. At the job site, the Jacobites. Sludge was one of the first games to come out. Fewer root veggies. I'm fascinated by it. I just, wow. It's just the whole look of it is what's got me. Those guys with the plague masks, you know, the pointy things. Oh, I love that. Just weird stuff. Black Powder Age. Well, what's the other one? That's Black Powder too, right? How is it that I don't understand that, because I haven't read too much into what is it called? Something 28. Turnip 28. I know a little bit about the background, that it's basically the Napoleonic Wars never ended. since Austerlitz. They've just been going on and on. And when I look at the models, why is it they have like these Napoleonic guys, you know, and they got roots and they just look terrible and it's horrible, grotesque and masks and stuff. But then they've got these guys that look like they're from the 100 Years' War with halberds, with weird masks, and guys with pavises, giant shields. Where is that coming into play? I don't understand. Are people using it for different eras? Or is this part of the fluff, the lore, where there's guys with these archaic weapons fighting in the Napoleonic Wars too? I don't understand that. Do I need to read more fluff or what? What is that? What is that? Yeah. Oh, I was painting some guys here. What is going on? Turnip Wars. Turnip 28 scenario number 7. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. This is the era of the indie games. Does it seem like that to you? Does it seem like there's more and more of these indie games that are becoming more fashionable? As opposed to these mainstream games? I mean, there's definitely more indie games out there. People self-publishing all the time and 3D printing stuff. It's like you could do just about anything you want now. So we got even all kinds of weird stuff coming through the pipeline at us. This is the age of the indie Gommers. Spielen. That's what it seems like to me. Which is pretty cool. I don't know how far this is going to go, but you can literally go on to, say, just as an example, Copilot, Grok, Gemini, ChatGPT 5, definitely 5. And you can literally, in a matter of minutes, and maybe some tweaking, have the AI design for you a set of workable rules for whatever you want. Any genre you can imagine. You just set the perimeters and tell it to go to town. Fully design it. You print that out and you've got a game for whatever you want. Now all you got to do is 3D print models and terrain as needed. Now, does it seem to you that this might be a thing in the future? I mean, is this going to put game designers and the whole industry lower their relevance to the hobby? as people design their games as they need them? I know what I'm in the mood for. I want a turnip game where the turnips come alive and fight battles against rabbits and foxes, and it's all set in middle-age Northern Europe, you know, during the plague. That's going to be my setting. Design a setting for me with those perimeters. I want a game that uses D6s, dice pools, no more than 6 at the most when you make your attack of shooting or melee. There's morale. You just set the perimeters and let the freaking AI design it for you. I've done this, not as a whole system, but I've designed mechanics for games that I play. Like, give me a old school morale system for Pathfinder 1st Edition, please. It will do that. And you can adjust it and tweak it to your heart's content. And it gives you something to work from. I'm telling you, man. I don't know how I feel about that, but it is incredibly useful. That makes me think. Is that going to be a thing? This freaking AI stuff, man. Thoughts? We live in an awesome time for gaming. Turnip 28 is dark, surreal, and satirical setting. Combines elements of the Napoleonic Wars with the post-apocalyptic, muddy and root-infested world. The Age of Filth, as it's been called. Its emphasis is on custom modeling. That's nice. I like that. Byron chimes in. This is the era of the late Roman Empire of games, on the verge of transitioning to the Dark Age. All right. All right, there you go. Always the optimist. Epic Fox, Tabletop. How you doing, man? I haven't talked to you in a long freaking time. How are you doing? Are you even still in the States? I know you've been a traveling man as of late. I see what's going on. I pay attention. I'm wondering what happened to you. Vibes. Turned into a world traveler of sorts. Yeah, it's good to see I'm still here. I am. I'll always be here. It's you guys that are always drifting in and out. I'm always here. You'll always find me. People will want an analog hobby still. I agree. I agree. Personally, I haven't much use for AI. Oh, James is laying it down. Busy, getting ready to retire. New videos planned in January, so you're getting it all settled. Good. That's good, man. It's good to hear. It's been a long time. It seems awfully long. I am subscribed to you. I'll look forward to January's assortment of videos. Hopefully I can start putting out videos before the end of this year. For some reason, it's no easy task. So much going on, as you know. Left and right, up and down. Never ending. Hobby? What's that? What's a hobby? Baron chimes in once again. There will always be a few regional powers competing with the 7 hills on which GW sits. But I think the 3D printing is the new religion that is spreading throughout the Empire and the other regional powers. This new religion will transform the landscape, and the old powers will be forced, I got in the mood for forging. Forced to evolve or be left in the dust. So says Byron. There you go.
The rise of a new age is upon us, Byron. As the lizard men skulk in the shadows, watching, pulling the strings, perhaps. Only time will tell what truth really looks like in this grim, dark future. Right? Grimdark? Are we heading for Grimdark? Is that the route we're taking? With AI and all this craziness? Robotic madness? Hobbies. What's that? Byron's up on things. He's watching. Pay attention. Pay attention, folks. I am an optimist, though. I believe in humanity. Everything thrown at us is a mere challenge to spurn growth in humanity. Evolution, even, perhaps. It's necessary. Perhaps that's what's upon us. That's what's coming. What you speak of, Byron. This dark age. We shall see. I do these chats like every day, every other day, for at least 2 or 3 hours, right around this time, sometimes a little earlier. So, Epic Fox, if you missed, if you're thinking of watching and joining, getting the mood back, you come to the right place. And you know this. I don't have to remind you, although I will remind you. And you're always welcome to join us for some crazy antic painting, as I like to refer to it as. Full of antics. Antics. Yes. Because I am always here. Cyberdyne Systems. What does it say? Cyberdyne? Cyberdyne Systems Corporation says otherwise. Well, I can't argue. They won't try. No, there you go. Pardon the sound of my squeaky chair. I was telling Jesse the other day, I mentioned this before, I looked over and he's on his phone all the time. He's a technology addict, for sure, and he knows it. In a way, I can't blame him. But you know, we all know those people. They're always on their phone, constantly. Not as much human interaction. It's like technology has a priority over human interactions, as it were. We all see this, and it's sad to see. You know, especially with social media, you get addicted to this stuff, and you do. You know, it's all the chemical stuff going off, likes and shares, and it's all a thing. You do get addicted to it. And I said to him, I'm more into the analog lifestyle. Something that James mentioned, which is true. I am, and I'll always be that way. And there'll always be people like that in the world. The analog focused. It sounds so cool to say analog. Where we got to have things, physical things, and we interact with the real world in an analog fashion, right? That'll always be there. He laughed at me. I like technology. Which is funny coming from him. He's a Gen Xer. He's not one of these new types, but I guess he's fallen prey And he'd probably admit that, right, Jesse? If you're watching, you'd admit that. I believe more about using technology to help us supplement, because it is useful, you know. I mean, what's better than Google search? AI. That's what's better than Google search. And I actually learn from this stuff. I have some good conversations with my AI, whether it's Grok, who you got to watch out for. He gets a little bit Hitler praising. That happened. But yeah, I think AI is kind of in its infancy yet. You know, you still got to fact check AI. You really do. But anyway, yeah. Analog lifestyle. I'm in the analog. My tablet died, and it was the breaking of a spell. It was like breaking a spell. You want to protect the world, but you don't want it to change. How is humanity saved if it's not allowed to evolve? Quote from what? What does that say? Utron? James, I like tech, but older tech. There you go. That's one way to do it. Yeah, like 1980s. 1980s synth, baby. Give me Casio keyboards and Commodores. Is that what you meant to say? Commodores? I don't know what that is. Oh, Atari. Atari. All right. I got you. Why am I missing words? Everything's smaller in these glasses. That's why I'm missing words. I destroyed my glasses the other day, the ones I usually wear. Now I got to wear my backups. Everything's a little smaller. was muted, but I didn't actually say anything. Oh. Retro boombox and Swatch watches. Ah, yeah. I miss my Commodore 64 and my D&D floppy disk games. Gonna hit my miles today. Have BLTs for dinner. Spend the rest of the week contemplating and preparing Stargrave batch number 2. Sounds like a plan. That's what you call a plan. I'm using AK Interactive Paints the second time round, other than slap chopping. Always experimenting. I haven't done any speed painting in a while. I gotta get some of that medium so I could try it out with these paints and my 15 mils. Because there's very specific colors I need for this. And I don't see them as speed paints. I'm curious what Epic Fox is going to be putting up for videos. Like I said, it's been a long time. Wonder what he's got in store for us. Look forward to that. Get a little motivation. Some old school wargaming. Right. All right. Looks good. I was raised a poor orc child. Cal, is that you, Cal? Cal? Cal, is that you? Cal and my good friend Neil were very kind to change their handles on YouTube. Totally throwing me off. Made worse by the fact that both Cal and Neil only occasionally drop by. And that's alright. That's fine. So sometimes with my atrocious memory, I can't remember who I'm talking to. Is that Cal? It's Cal. I have to read the full handle. And then, yeah, that's Cal. Cal humor. It's Cal. That's how I remember. I read that. Slap chop is good for a base layer, but it is definitely improved with some highlights and details. Okay. Any matte medium will do.
I don't think I have any matte mediums. I'll have a look again. I think it's all... it's not matte. That's Cal. A good friend from out west. Need more tuna. Is he live or Memorex? Remember that? Memorex. Yeah, I've been working a lot in the field. I've shared some pictures, James, but I don't think you saw them. I'm going to have that lower portion there looking like a park by the end of this year. And that's where the first garden is going. I've kind of talked about that, and Jesse wants to go so far as to actually put out a stand in the front of the house. Of course, we have to be designated a working farm at that stage before we can do that, but we used to do that back in the days. So that's a thing that he's excited about. And it turns out we're actually gonna till up the rest of the field down below there, so we're gonna have literally essentially 3 separate gardens, which are pretty frickin' huge. And I said to him, yeah, go to town, figure that all out, just as long as we get food out of it, start canning stuff and everything else. So yeah, I've pretty much been at hard work doing that, cutting all the trees down that were in last year's storm. I kind of been taking a week off from it because it almost killed me. Yeah, but a lot of work. Oh, and I love it. I love being out there again working. I gotta watch myself. I'm gonna drop over and die. I ain't freaking young anymore, but I want to. Yeah, so that's going really good. I'm excited about that. So everything's going according to plan. I was hoping to get an initial garden this year, but I chose not to. It was too cold in the spring. I couldn't do anything. So we'll get as far as tilling up that soil. If not late this fall, we're going to till it up next spring and plant in it that whole upper shelf. Everything. And then for the year later after, we're going to till up the rest of the field down below that. So and now that fall is here, we can start working on the roof. So that's according to our plan, about to happen. And yeah, so far so good. I've been doing spruce snipping and some assembly after Cave's Kickstarter
delivery. Caves? What's caves? I didn't see that one. Is it a terrain thing? Today I got more sci-fi terrain. Egads. What have I done? I bet, man. Show some pictures. Show some pictures. By the way, your stuff looks great, man. I'm really digging those Lovecraftian style monsters you just posted. Man. I farm on the weekends. We picked corn Saturday and Sunday. Did you? Oh, I love corn so much. Corn on the cob, sweet corn. Oh, man. I had the most delicious sweet corn off the grill. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I think it was the day before yesterday. Fired up the grill and Jesse went crazy cooking up some stuff, including some sweet corn. Oh man, was that so good. I didn't have to put anything on it. It was so good. So sweet. Another one from Archon Studios. It just delivered. Share some pictures, man. I want to see what you're getting. Stuff motivates me. Makes me want to spend money. We grilled corn on Saturday. Oh, I loved it. I haven't had sweet corn on the grill in years. And wow, it was just so good. I was blown away by it. It was so good. Stop it. You're making a mess. What are you doing? Oh. It's very goth. Goth. Gothic. Gothic. I like it. Sci-Fi Gothic is by Snot Goblin Gaming. S-double-G. There you go. Snot Goblins. Oh, I gotta do the anklets. Do the anklets. I'm not going to get these all done today. I lost my chutzpah early in the stream today. But we got to push on and get something done. We're already at 2 hours and 39 minutes, according to this. Ivan IT. Never-ending painting. Telling it like it is right there. You doing, Ivan? Cal says it's made for 40K and other sci-fi games, of course. It's sized for 35mm figures. Wow, that's the big guys. Wow. You're gonna have to show me. Glorialis. 40K. Ours just posted something. I wonder if ours is listening in today, lurking. You out there, ours? Probably went to bed. So Shama his stuff. I can't even talk today. What's happening? So Shama his stuff, Cal. Let me do that. I didn't show the 40k stuff today. I wish I can own some 40k Space Marine miniatures, paint them. Celestial Lion chapter with the champagne gold with light blue. Too bad it's damn expensive. 3D printing, man. It's so much cheaper. I know. I will soon. That was just the first 3 bags I opened. Let's see what we got on the screen currently. This is from ours. He just posted this like 30 minutes ago. My black metal dark apostle. Any ideas for a good name for him? I got a perfect name. Starts with an F and ends with a Z. And I would love it even more. Let's take a look at it. Oh, that looks really good. Look at that metal. Looks like stainless steel. Shined. Fritz the Undone. Dark Lord Fritz. There's his dreadnought. Magnetizing the arms, probably. Swap out the guns. Well, that's really nice how he's got that white looking so old and battered. That's nice. One day, me and ours are going to have an awesome game of 40k that we're going to document. The Inquisition and the forces of the Sisters of Battle will be waging a great purge of the Sons of Malice. Live from Warsaw, if I can actually get there. Ours does some nice work. Yes, he does. He just recently got back into 40k. You probably know this. I don't know if you do or not. He tried, of all things, he got hooked by the first edition of Kill Team. He got a chance to read it and play it, fell in love with it. So he immediately started getting back into his old Sons of Malice, something he hasn't touched in over a decade. And he's basically doing that now. He's refurbishing it for Kill Team and, yes, 40k as well. So he's all over the place. That's what he's been up to. Somewhat shocking, but not really. Kind of expect this kind of stuff. My brother wants to play Kill Team. It's a great game in its own right. Ours really likes the first edition of the game. He says it's a totally different game. It's got alternating shooting or something. Alternate turns, maybe? I read the game once, and that was so long ago, I don't remember. That's when I was just getting back into all of that nonsense, so I didn't know. I can't remember how it worked, but he says, wow, it's actually really freaking good. Crazy. Your brother? Yeah, that's the way to do it. And for most of us, it's the only way to do it. I mean, let's be real. Especially down there. Prices are freaking crazy. Imagine that. Or Double H or the Old World. Oh. I'm still gonna do my I haven't done any fantasy. I haven't thought about it. I'm still going to do my... What is it called? Not Stargrave. What is it? It's... The game... Ours broke. I'm still going to play that with Jake. Because it's such a great intro. God, I can't think of the name of it. You know what I'm talking about. I'm still going to do that. And probably Midgard. And probably Warhammer, the old stuff. I'm probably going to play that old stuff. Because, you know, that's what I remember and enjoyed, so... That's probably what I'm going to do, and that's going to make me pretty happy. Especially because it's what Jesse remembers and stuff. That's a big reason I'm doing what I'm doing, because he's involved. And just me. And Jake. My painting backlog is such that I'm just buying one more kit for my birthday next month, the Victorian-styled Imperial Guard. Oathmark, yeah, that's it. Oathmark, I couldn't think of that. I'm still going to play that because it's a great introduction. great way to get into fantasy miniatures gaming. I think Jake could grab hold of that easily. He's brilliant anyway. He doesn't have any problems with this stuff. But that would be great for fantasy, because I think for him, fantasy is something that doesn't click in his mind yet. Like we think Lord of the Rings and Tolkien stuff, but I don't think he has a lot of exposure to that, honestly. Science fiction and modern stuff, robots and that kind of thing, no problem. He gets that. Laser guns and stuff, no problems there. But you know, he doesn't have much exposure to fantasy and stuff, and so I've got to work my way into it with him, with the role-playing games and stuff, and show him lots of pictures and images. We were rolling up characters. I think at the time we were rolling up characters for Tales of the Valiant. And he got skill in a vehicle. And his first thing he said is he wanted a car. He wanted to be able to drive a car. I said, nah, that's not in here. This is a little bit different. We're talking wagons and carts and horses and I don't know, maybe not horses, but you know, that kind of thing. A month before that, I was showing him my painted 15 mil knights. You know, my Barrel War era stuff. Oh, yeah, we could play this. We'll play some Triumph. You like this? It's like chess and stuff. It's really good. And he said, nah. I like the guns and tanks and stuff. So he immediately turned it down when he saw all those painted knights and stuff. So the concept isn't there in his head really yet. Again, it's exposure. I guess he doesn't know what the heck I'm talking about. So I got to work on that with him. Warhammer Quest. Let me read. Oathmark 2.0 is apparently due next year. Really? Well, that's good. That's good. I will definitely grab it. And all my books are resources that'll never get useless. Aside from one or two quirks, I really like Oathmark. Yeah, I agree. I like it too. Simplicity. It's a game that does what it says it does. And if that's what you're looking for, there you go. It's the greatest thing around. For me, 40k 2nd and 3rd edition and Warhammer Fantasy 4th and 5th were our era. Yeah, I agree. 40k 2nd edition in particular really stands out because it's so different. It's so different and it's so over the top and so goofy. And how could you not play it? Give me a second. Yes, it's time for the feeding. There you go. Oh. I mean, I got a whole painted army of high elves. I keep forgetting that. So I don't really have that much to do to have a game of one of these things, like Oathmark, which is really what my first objective would be. That would be a project. And I've got all these Chaos Dwarves for that. I've been working on Undead. That would be great. That'd be easy to print up skeletons for and stuff. That I could do. So that's a project I'm definitely going to do. The Oathmark mechanics for fighting and shooting are really good. Maybe some of the movement and balancing is weird. Epic chimes in. Epic 40k, Mordheim, Battlefleet Gothic, Warhammer Quest, have love for life. I agree. So many good memories, Epic. Oh, man. For people our age, not that that's old or anything, but it's like those were memories for me that I'll always have. They're the greatest memories I have in this hobby are back then. In the 90s, essentially. The heyday of Games Workshop. I was so absorbed in all those freaking games. So many good memories. Countless battles. Campaigns. Haven't done anything like that since, to be honest with you. All the new GW Specialist games are the best, but I prefer more generic My Dudes setting. You do. And that's okay. I kind of like that too now and then. Like with the idea of the, what is it, miniatures agnostic rules sets. I like that. I like that idea. Like Void Admiral. That's pretty cool. $40K second isn't a war game. It's an experience. They ruined it by making it a war game. Okay, there's some deep thoughts there. Deep thoughts coming from James. And profound words. Maybe he would be more into the abyssal dwarves because they have guns. Maybe. That's a good idea. Count them as crossbows or something and Oathmark. He really enjoyed Flames of War. He actually, before the end of the day, he was actually sitting there making rules for giant robots using the Flames of War rules. He had this giant robot. I said, oh, you could put him on the table. It'd be easy to stat him. And it would. And he's sitting there and he's thinking how he could, what would the 2-hit be? What would the weapons be? For this giant robot that articulates and turns into a car or something. But yeah. He really got into Flames of War. He enjoyed that. Give him those little data cards and he's sitting there comparing the various tanks. Like he's looking at the Sherman 75 and the Sherman 76 of late war era. He's sitting there looking at the stats. Oh, this is interesting. It's not as good. Blah, 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 blah. Which is really remarkable to see, to be honest with you. Third through to fifth 40K was an okay wargaming, but the crazy fun RPG elements in second are the best. Plus smaller armies, it's easier to collect and play the freaking game. Sharp as attack. So hopefully I can get these infantry done and we can try some infantry. He's actually excited to have some infantry on the table. See how they work. So I'm going to get these guys all painted and based, 2 platoons. And I'm probably going to finish off the Flak 88s and the Pack 40s too, just for good measure. And then it's just my platoon of airborne. But I'll probably get all the Germans done first before I introduce all these models to the game. But yeah, he's liking it, so I'm going to push that. Because for one, it's historical. And two, it's one of my favorite games. If you can imagine, he actually got into an argument, not an argument, a debate with his father and myself. Here we are with this 9-year-old kid who's being introduced to war games and miniatures for the first time in his life. We're sitting here, all three of us, debating about realism. Jake's sitting there saying, well, that's not very realistic. It was something to do with cover modifiers and how it works in Flames of War. I couldn't believe it. Are you kidding me? I went quiet and just let him debate with his father. Because with me, it's like, my God, here I am. And I'm watching the two people that I basically raised and got into this hobby debate with each other. A father and a son about war games. It was surreal almost. What am I witnessing? No, it was real, that's for sure. Yeah, that was odd. I had to soak it in. Because I'm essentially responsible for all this. Feels good. Planting the seeds. Take care, Cal. Planting the seeds. You should definitely check out those Victrix late Romans and Saxons for Arthurian games. Beautiful figures. I'm going to check them out now. I'm not going to paint anymore. I'm going to set that aside for tomorrow. I got all week to work on this. For my Saxons, I asked for the Dark Age army builder from Bob and Ross. Good old Bob and Ross. See you later, Cal. Mein Gott, my brother is such a stickler for realism. I'm gonna buy some 15mm just so he doesn't grizzle about ranges. Yeah, but this is coming from a 9-year-old. It just felt so odd. Talking about how range and cover works in Flames of War. And I had to explain it to him. What was it? I don't know what it was. Because in Flames of War, when you shoot at somebody, your chance of hitting is based on the target's experience and training, not the shooter's experience and training. I think it might have been based around that. I don't know, because that makes sense. But, I don't know. It was something we were talking about with range and cover. And, oh, I know what it was. You know what it was? The way you measure arcs on a tank. Like, how do you get on the side armor of a tank in Flames of War? Well, you just have to have part of the shooting tank, we'll say it's a tank, part of the shooting tank within the 90-degree front arc, or beyond the 90-degree front arc of the targeted tank. So it's a straight 90-degree arc from the front of the target vehicle. If any part of you is behind that line, you're able to shoot at the side or rear armor. That's it. As simple as how it works. Side and rear armor is the same thing in Flames of War. Well, Jake was thinking, how's that realistic? Because he's looking at it like a 45-degree front arc and a 45-degree side arc and so on. He's looking at it that way. And said, this looks like I'm shooting at his side. How am I not hitting his side? Well, because you're not beyond the front arc. And I had to explain, these tanks are in motion. They're constantly in motion, keeping their fronts towards the enemy as much as possible. That's what they're doing. They're not just static pieces that sit there. We have to use our imaginations a little bit. But it was funny because talking to him, and he actually used the term, that's not realistic. Kind of made me sit back a little bit like, wow, am I having this discussion with a 9-year-old about realism? But yeah, that's what that was. But that's the kind of arguments I want to have. So. Dark and Army Builder is a QGA kit, 48 figures. WGA, Wargames Atlantic. All right. I'm going to look up Victrix right now. Yeah, he is into it. Considering that he's also into video games at 9 years old. That's pretty cool. He's wanting to play some 40k again, though. He said, well, we haven't played 40k in a while. I still got that spaceship game, Void Admiral, to play with them. I haven't played that yet with them. What was I doing? These are so usable with Warhammer. What am I looking for? Oh. Arthurian. Oh, look at all these wonderful farm animals. Now, I know they got Normans and Saxons and stuff. Late Saxons, Anglo-Danes. Normans, of course. Like that guy right there, that's an Arthurian era. Let me look. Medieval, Dark Ages, Late Roman Empire, Ancients, Punic, Imperial, Wargaming, Greek, Persian, recent released Pillage Wargame, Medieval, Napoleonics, World War II. I painted them. Transfers, modeling, media. So there's the Viking Age and the Late Roman Empire. Late Romans, early Saxons. Okay, so they got the Saxons in there. There's probably some crossover too with the Dark Age stuff. Late Roman armored infantry. Early Saxon armored warriors. Yeah, well, that's what these guys are for then. Early Saxon unarmored warriors. Late Roman cataphracts. Late Roman unarmored infantry. Yeah, these would be useful.
Late Roman armored cav, they'd be useful. Late Roman horse archers, unarmored. Yeah, all these are would be useful for me in my project. Boy, look at all the decals. So yeah, they got some. And then the Viking Age, which is a little bit later on for me, but yeah, you can get some crossover here, I think. But again, I won't be using nothing but Victrix. I'll be using other companies too, so I just want to have a nice little mix of beautiful Victrix models alongside some other company stuff. These guys look like zombies to me. Are these plastic or metal? They're plastic, right? Yeah, hard plastic. All right, let me go back to the chat. Mortgage that it's cool. With the Victrix, my Saxons are Kyle's WGA. Have you played OPR? On-page rules with him? Nope, haven't got to that yet. Haven't had to. Been playing 10th edition 40k. Dark Ages, top menu, late Roman. I have the heavy and light infantry. This is the... Are you doing this too, or are you doing the later Viking Norman stuff? Let me go back and see what you said. I have the heavy and light infantry, late Roman. These are nice. I like these guys. Set can also be used as Arthurians. Early Byzantine and Goths or Germanic. Huh, what's this? Oh wow, that's a pretty useful set. Getting a lot of variety. Yeah. Yeah. Do these things come with bases? Sorry, I'm distracted by this. Wow. Why is this so big? Wow, look at all those heads. Wow. Rooms of Goth Victor's great miniatures. That's my sword and board era. For guns, I'm doing Peninsular War and Boxer Rebellion. The rest is sci-fi and fantasy. Alright, so yeah, Victrix has some stuff I'm looking for. Of course, I'm going to be doing this for my Triumph project. So I'm dealing with multiple figured bases. And that'll make me happy as can be. I've never played a DBX style game in 28 mil, so that's going to be a joy.
Yeah, that'll be my first period. Historical period in 28 mil for ancients or medieval. I'll be doing this period. And that's going to be fun. That's going to be interesting to me. And hopefully I'll build up some sizable double, triple triumph armies. Not just a little, you know, a little army. Like DBA or something. I don't want that. I want to have something actually a lifelong project that I'm just going to keep expanding and building and be able to fight out some of these great historical and mythical battles. That's the goal with that project. In 28 mil. Was tempted to do some DBA armies, but I will skirmish base, I think. You should have a quick look at the Dark Age Army Builder if you're so inclined, on the WGA site. War Games Atlantic. The Dark Age Builder? Army Builder? Yeah, I like DBA, but with math. What is it? Is it for a set of rules, or is it just a way to build your collection? What do you mean, Dark Age Army Builder? On the War Games Atlantic site. I guess I should look while I'm here. War Games Atlantic. It's a kit? Alright. War Games Atlantic. Oh, look at the dwarves. This is that epic stuff. I don't care for epic stuff. Isn't it? Isn't it their epic thing? I've painted enough 10 mil to last a lifetime. The boxes and Ruskies I bought for pulp games. Backfill armies, mostly as Saxons. Dented helmet, nice kit too. What am I looking for? I'm not going to click anything until you tell me. I don't know what I'm looking for. Oh, look at that. Boy, if you were into War Master, boy, War Games Atlantic's got you covered with these guys. Wow. Nope, it's not what I do. I refuse. It's on the front page. Scroll down. Death fields. Let me go all the way to the bottom. You just scrolled past it. What is it called? What am I looking for? Kit? These are blog posts. Dark Age Army Builder. Dark Age Army Builder. Is it a post in here, or is it... It's very relevant to your interests. Attendant Helmet is having a laugh. Dark Age Army Builder. Scroll up. Okay. No, but you can also just type it into the website. Dark Age Army Builder, right? Let's do that. 'Cause I don't know what the hell I'm looking for. Sounds like a computer program. Dark Age Army Builder. Well, here's this. I guess I'll click this. Dark Age Army Builder. So it's a box of miniatures. Okay. Call the feared. Assemble your legions. "48 Dark Age Wars in a spear and a shield. They're huge. God, Saxon, Franks, late Romans, Britons." So this is a generic thing. Okay. $40. 48 miniatures. Still a deal. Oh yeah, that's a nice little hodgepodge of all kinds of shite. More Games Atlantic. These would be good for fantasy too. Oh, look at all this goodness. Goth warriors. So not generic. Lots of proper tribal heads. Frankish knots, Saxon knives. Okay, so if I go back to the front page, where the hell is it on the front page? Oh, it's right here. Dark Ages Army Builder. See, I didn't know what it was. In my mind, I'm thinking, oh, this is some kind of online army builder. You know, where you choose things for points and it prints it out for you. Instead of thinking, what is he talking about? What rules are they for? I didn't know what the hell I was looking for. No, it's an army basics box. An army builder. It's right there. Okay. Oh, what's this? Operators and agents. Oh, what's this one? Civilians and survivors. Rise up. What is this? God, I haven't been out here in too long. Pulp adventure, baby. James was talking about this, see? Civilians and survivors. Yeah, this would be good for zombie stuff. Among other things. Like that guy with the big hat. Cowboy hat. Like this black dude running for his life. I like it. "24 multi-part hard plastic, 28 miniatures." So there you go, folks. War Games Atlantic, Victrix miniatures. Great stuff. Very exciting stuff. Motivating. Whenever I go to War Games Atlantic, I'm so overwhelmed by what they offer. I mean, all this stuff. I mean, these guys. Now I could actually play some of my Survivor zombie games. They got you covered with all this stuff. You don't have to search around. Not to mention all the Dark Ages stuff for me and my project. Some sci-fi stuff that could use with Stargrave and what's that other game? That solo thing. 5 parsecs. Yeah. And it's not too expensive either. Yeah, I remember the zombie set. I'm going to join their STL thing that they got there eventually. I'm just going to print out tons of stuff. Get the STLs anyway. Eggs for sale. I was muted. I was saying I got 18 more Germans to do. that Pack 40 and that V1 bomber that I showed. And that's it. I got 2 Pack 40s actually. And a Flak 88. I think just one. There might be 2 of them in there. I don't know. But I got a Flak 88 from the Tobruk set that I'm going to use with this. Western Front instead. I got plenty of crew models. Yeah, so that's it for the Germans. So I'm closing in on these guys. And then it's all pairs. There's about 30 of those or something. 30 cals, a mortar, bazookas, bars. Maybe about a platoon worth of guys, about 30 or so. Plus command, it's probably about 35 or 33 or something. And that's it. This project will be done. I could take a break from it, play up some good games, small games, and then we'll do something else, I think. Depends on what I'm in the mood for. Yes, I was muted. Did you see the Perry Franco-Prussian War plastics? They look amazing, especially the Bavarians. I saw them. They do. There's no way I'm going to get into that. Maybe a skirmish, maybe. But what a great period to war game. Great looking uniforms. Critical moment in history. Charlton Heston. Yeah, those models you're talking about. Pulp. Alright, I'm gonna call this because I gotta eat. It's 8:30. We've did 3 hours and 3.5 hours. That's pretty good. I'm gonna be back again tomorrow. I'm gonna finish that strip and start another one. Probably get some more done, actually, because that's only 4 guys. I've got a bunch of strips of 3 each, so maybe I'll do a strip of 3 and finish the strip of 4, so that'll be 7 guys done. So yeah, it's coming along really good. So hopefully this week I'll get all the infantry done. Yes, and it's time to start thinking about basing, because the Pack 40 needs a base. I got to put them on bases before I can paint them. So I've got to really seriously think about my bases. Maybe get some Litco bases that are really thin. Because I noticed when I put them on those Litco bases, they're kind of high because their figures aren't sunken into little holes like they are with the plastic. They're sitting on top of it. So I have to buy really thin Litco bases. And that's cool for me. And what I do is I build it up with spackling so it's nice and thick. Is that going to work or not for me? Because the whole idea is I want to use these other bases because they're thick, not beveled frickin' things that I hate. So I have to think about that, how I'm going to base them. I don't want the infantry taller than they should be for the tanks and stuff, because the tanks aren't on bases. Blah, blah, blah. Yap, yap, yap. All right, everybody. James, thanks for joining me today. I appreciate it. I hope everything's good with you. You take care of yourself. And and stay in touch. Even come on tomorrow. I much prefer an MDF base with grabbable. Okay. Grabbable. That's what it is. Grabbable edges. Yeah, that's what I like. I don't like this beveled shit where it, pardon the French, disguises the base edge by beveling it. You can't pick it up, man. You're picking up figures and, busting off gun barrels, which I've done numerous times. So yeah, I get it. I want some beefy bases for my infantry. And do it that way. Much better. That's my plan. Dead helmet. Take it easy, folks. Alright, we're going to call it here. I'll be back on. Try and be on a little bit earlier as I try and do. I'm losing my voice. Cripes. Hiya! Hiya! And I'll see you guys next time. Enjoy the evening. And thanks, everybody. Dead helmet. Great stuff. Epic Fox. Cal. All you guys. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. So, folks, hang in there, and you know why? It's only going to get better. And that's the truth. I'll talk to you soon.